tragedy struck over the weekend, and if you are a neo soul lover like myself, then you know that Angie Stone was probably one of the she's the queen, probably the queen of neo, and she died tragically this weekend. And we have a news article. It says three-time Grammy nominated R&B singer Angie Stone died in a car crash in Alabama on Saturday. Stone was a passenger in a van that overturned on I-65. It was then hit by a Freightliner Cascadia. So this it actually hit two vehicles. Um, so it hit a passenger. They hit a Freightliner. That's a semi. Absolutely heartbreaking. It's a tragic story. But Angie Stone was the only person in the vehicle that actually died. Everybody else that was in that van lived. They got treated for their injuries and stuff like that. Um, Angie Stone's daughter, Diamond Stone, she commented on her social. She said, "My mom is gone." She offered thanks to the public for everybody who showed support. And like I said, my heart goes out to the Stone family. You don't want to lose a loved one like this. But the timing of this is very, very interesting to me. Now, I want y'all to hear me out. Most recently, Angie Stone had started talking about the industry. More importantly, she had started calling out the labels, saying that she was missing money and that she wasn't getting paid properly. And she took to her Instagram live back in December. And I want y'all to hear what she said. Now, mind you, the Instagram live was probably about 20 something minutes. I cut the video down just to the part where she actually goes into it for the sake of brevity. So I want y'all to hear this though, because it's very, very interesting as to what happened to Angie Stone. And then we're gonna talk about like that on the other side. So let's take a listen.
But meanwhile, back at the ranch, was as I was coming through all of this, I soon found out that one of the biggest companies that I was with, Universal Music, it's the second part of the ugly truth. We began to research things to check on my royalties and my statements and things that of that nature, only to find out a lot of my publishing, a lot of my royalties, my mechanicals, they have all pretty much been stolen. As I begin to find out things that I never had to look into, because when you hire a team of people that to some degree supposed to have your back, you're thinking that they're getting it all together for you. That's why, I respect Oprah Winfrey in that respect when she said, do your own research.
Now I want y'all to understand what she just said. She said she found out they were stealing from her because she hired a team of people to handle that for her, because she, unbeknownst to her, she really didn't know the music industry. We've heard this so many times before. Artists are not into the business part. They're just creators. They just want to make money. So they hire people to handle it. The manager, the accountant, the stylist, the publicist. They got all these people that they're on payroll that are supposed to be watching out for this stuff. And she's saying that she got screwed over. Let's keep taking a listen.
Just stoned the celebrity, that I let a lot of important things slip through the cracks only because I didn't know any better. I worked very hard to take care of my kids as a single mother, and I'm being transparent. My kids' fathers just were not doing what they're supposed to do. So I had to step up and go in and do everything that I needed to do for my family, which is why I worked so hard, which is why I traveled so much, which is why I did shows, because at the end of the day, after 40-something years in the business, I'm like, well, why? Where are my royalties going? Because I'm not getting this. Come to find out, Universal Music has been receiving all my royalties, all my mechanical.
Did y'all just hear that? Did y'all just hear that? She said, she just said that they were getting all the royalties, all the royalties, all the royalties, all the royalties. So, I mean, I just want y'all to hear that part. That is absolutely criminal. If that is actually happening, that is criminal.
They've taken pretty much everything. They've stolen, I won't say stolen, but they have taken all the monies that were due to me. They have basically absorbed in that company. And even though there's several class action lawsuits, people that were working on my behalf never even registered the songs. All the songs that I've done, I'm only coming to find out they were not properly registered by the companies that I signed over to. People that were.
How does this happen? How do you have this go down with this woman? All her stuff is just taken, and all her mechanicals. Do you know how much that is tied up in? That's the percentages. The mechanical rights are when people play your music, um, they sample it, all of that. She said that she didn't get paid off of none of her stuff. This is this is wrong. This is absolutely wrong.
Supposed to do their due diligence. So I am truly a walking testimony that God has carried me all this time. Because if you only knew how much money they have taken from me, how much they have stolen from me, monies that I'm supposed to be, I should have been able to retire 20 years ago with the money I've made.
That is absolutely insane. She said she should have been able to retire 20 years ago. Angie Stone in her 60s. So she's saying right now I should be hanging out with my grandbabies. I should be, you know, the generational wealth should have already been established. I'm the first person to get the wealth, and my grandbabies should be good. My grandbabies' babies should be good right now. But yet it's still, I'm looking at my bank statements. I'm looking at all of my things and my net worth, and I'm saying, where the money at? Because I don't see it in my bank account.
Supposedly. But there are key people that have been driving the ships. And what they've been doing is improperly representing me, improperly stealing from me, taking things in their own hand, changing and switching lanes because they knew I didn't know that part. See, I'm not an attorney. I don't know everything. What I learned how to do was go out, work hard, get paid, come home, pay my bills, take care of my family. That part. The legal side, when you hire attorneys and managers and agents, they're supposed to make sure the gray area over there that they're in the driver's seat for, they're supposed to make sure you're taken care of. And even though they were taking care of themselves, they thought very little of taking care of me.
That is heartbreaking. And later on in the video, she actually calls UMG out and tells them, "Hey, I'm coming for my money." Kind of like when MLK said that he was going to Washington to get his check. She called them out, as she should, because if her royalties, her mechanical rights to her songs, all the music, all her publishing, if she didn't have any of that, and somebody basically was signing her name on stuff, giving away stuff, this is wrong. You've never heard Angie Stone be in any type of drama, anybody's business. You haven't heard anything, no rumors about her, uh, whether she was on drugs or anything like that. You didn't hear that stuff about Angie Stone. She's an old soul, a hard worker, a great artist, great mother, great grandmother, a woman of God, and somebody actually took advantage of her in this way, knowing that she wasn't too familiar with the legal side. I call it legalese, right? The legal side of all of the business. She wasn't too privy to that. She was an artist. She went out and sung and put on shows, wrote songs for people, produced for people. That's what she did. And for labels like UMG and Warner Brothers to continue to do this to artists, this is wrong. This is so wrong. How many other artists we done heard come out and say the same thing? That they didn't understand the business, and when they looked up, they found out they were getting robbed. Toni Braxton said she was getting 5 cents on the album. Millions of records, 5 cents. Come on, man. And the couple that right after she says this, right after she starts to expose things, she starts talking about coming after the money, and she understands stuff now. She's getting legal advice to see how she can fight to get her royalties. All of a sudden, abruptly, she passes away in an accident where a Sprinter van collides, like loses control on I-65, spins out of control, collides into not only another vehicle, but an absolute freightliner. And now Miss Stone is unfortunately no longer with us. But hopefully her family fights for those rights. I don't know what kind of like will and estate she had set up. Hopefully she had some estate planning set up, because that's important, especially when you got a lot of moving parts that may need to be able to be taken care of by other people in your family. You definitely want to make sure that you got that part done. So, my heart, like I said, heart goes out to the Stone family. Hopefully, you all get your mom's money from UMG, and UMG just do right by your artists. Stop this.